Welcome to your deep dive. Ever lay awake at night thinking about side hustles instead of sheep?
Uh-huh, I know that feeling.
Tonight we're diving deep into high-paying remote jobs you can do at night, all thanks to Benji's dad's YouTube video, and let me tell you, it's fascinating stuff.
It really is. The way technology is changing how we work is incredible. And we're not just talking about the money, but the skills you need to thrive, future-proof your career in this crazy, fast-changing world.
Future-proofing, exactly. Benji's dad kept saying to find your niche, something radically different, to stand out. Like he gave this example of a visual interpreter. Ever heard of that?
I have, actually. It's a great example of how tech is creating new ways to connect with people. Imagine, like, being the eyes for someone in a grocery store remotely, helping them find stuff. It's about making things accessible, bridging those gaps.
Oh, wow. It's like next level customer service, but with a human touch. It makes you think about what skills are important now, empathy and problem solving, right?
Definitely. It's all about personalization. Even with all this automation, people crave that human touch, that expertise, especially in fields that need emotional intelligence. You can't automate that.
Makes you wonder what other crazy jobs will be around in a few years. But okay, switching gears, Benji's dad talked about becoming a YouTube Uber. Sounds kind of out there.
Right?
He made it sound like you could earn six figures from one video, and okay, that got my attention.
He's definitely onto something with how much money you can make on YouTube if you know what you're doing. That $199,000 figure he threw out shows how powerful it can be. But it's more than just making videos, right? It's like you got to understand the algorithm, build a following, keep people coming back.
So it's not as easy as hitting record and hoping for the best.
Definitely not. You need to put in the work, learn the skills.
He didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of that.
Right, and that's where research comes in. You'd want to look into SEO and stuff like that, and maybe even paid advertising on YouTube. It's like a whole other world.
So it's a business, not just a hobby. Okay, so we've got those human connection jobs, then YouTube stardom. What about something a bit more, I don't know, reliable?
Well, Benji's dad talked about being an IT systems analyst. Good pay, benefits, but you're on call a lot, even holidays.
Yeah, he mentioned he did that for a bit. Didn't like the holiday shifts or always being on call, even though the pay was good. Just goes to show that even if a job seems great, you got to think about the lifestyle.
Totally. It's all about figuring out your priorities. Do you want, like, the possibility of a ton of money but crazy hours, or steady pay with a set schedule? It's a balancing act.
Freedom versus security, right? That's a tough one.
It is, and it comes up with any career, not just these nighttime gigs. It's about knowing yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, and what you absolutely won't compromise on.
Great advice. He also mentioned IT help desk technician as an entry-level job. Not super glamorous, but he said you could get to six figures if you have the skills and move up.
Yeah, he's right. It's like a stepping stone. Especially in IT, they always need skilled people.
And you can do it remotely. Huge plus. He also mentioned language telephone survey interviewer, something different.
That one reminded me that not every remote job is going to pay a ton, at least not at first. He said it was like $30,000 a year, but you could use it to get into market research or data analysis.
Oh, right, like a stepping stone. Plus, he said they often give you a computer. So each job has good and bad, it seems.
Absolutely. You got to weigh your options.
No perfect job for everyone then.
Nope. You got to find what works for you.
And sometimes that means starting somewhere unexpected and seeing where it leads, I guess.
Exactly. Who knows what you might discover about yourself along the way?
Okay, so we've got helping people with groceries, YouTube fame, but what about something, I don't know, where you're actually helping people out in a bind?
You mean like those roadside assistance folks?
Exactly. Like when Benji's dad's Honda Accord wouldn't start and AAA saved the day.
Oh yeah, he was raving about them for ages.
He gave it a 7 out of 10 for being rewarding, which I thought was pretty high considering you're dealing with stressed out drivers.
I know, right? Makes you wonder what he considers rewarding. Shows how personal job satisfaction is.
Totally. Okay, but speaking of rewarding and making bank, he talked about this website, Study Pool, where you get paid to answer students' questions. He said some people are making like 75 to 100 grand a year, which is wild.
That's amazing. It's like the internet created a global tutoring center or something.
Right. But it makes you wonder, will these websites be around forever? He did say it's not completely independent because you rely on their platform.
That's true. You're relying on them to connect with students. It's a trade-off.
Right. Something to think about. Okay, so we've covered a bunch of stuff, helping people with groceries, tutoring, even becoming a YouTube star. But what about something a little more, I don't know, traditional?
Like freelance writing. He seemed to know a lot about that.
He did, right. He was saying how he used to write for his own website and then started hiring other writers. It's like he accidentally became an entrepreneur.
It happens.
He did say that AI is making it tougher for writers these days, but specializing can help you stand out.
That's true for a lot of fields. As AI gets better, we'll need to be more specialized.
So it's not enough to just be good anymore. You got to be an expert in something super specific.
Exactly. The more niche your knowledge, the more valuable you become, especially online.
It's like the example he gave about writing about sustainable urban farming in apartments, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's specific, but there's an audience for that.
It's amazing what people are interested in these days. Okay, so we've covered tech support, YouTube, tutoring, and writing. What else could there be? And we're back to the deep dive. Before the break, we were talking about freelance writing, right? And how important it is to specialize, especially now with AI changing the game.
Totally.
But let's move on to something that seems super important but kind of intimidating. Medical transcription. Have you ever looked into that?
A little. It definitely needs some serious skills, though. You got to be accurate and detail-oriented, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally. Benji's dad said the pay for regular medical transcription jobs isn't amazing, but if you freelance, you can make more per hour.
Makes sense. You're setting your own rates then, right?
Exactly. He even said if you become a stenographer like those super fast typers, you can make bank. Imagine $65 an hour transcribing medical records.
Wow. See, that's specialization for you. Even within medical transcription, a niche skill makes a huge difference. Makes you wonder what other hidden gems are out there, you know?
Totally. It's like a whole secret world of jobs most people don't even know about.
Eh.
Okay, so we've got medical transcription. What about virtual reception work? It's answering phones and stuff, but from home, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like taking a regular office job and making it remote.
I can get behind that.
Actually, Benji's dad said his friend does that for her dad's carpet installation business. She handles all the calls and schedules remotely.
Oh, that's cool. He also mentioned this website, smith.ai, that connects businesses with virtual receptionists. He said it starts around $30,000 a year, but you can negotiate as you get experience.
It's smart, though, because you're building your skills and your client list. Makes sense you could ask for more.
Right. Plus, he said they offer health benefits and training, which is awesome for freelance work. It's like they're trying to give you the best of both worlds, stability and flexibility.
Exactly. I think more companies are realizing that, especially now with so many people wanting remote work. Benefits and support make a huge difference.
Totally. It makes you wonder how it'll all look in the future. Will more companies do this kind of hybrid thing?
I think so.
That
Especially with technology getting better all the time.
makes sense. Okay, are you ready for our final job? This is the one Benji's dad was super pumped about.
Let's do it. I'm curious. He really seemed to think this one was a gold mine.
He did. He said it's freelance video editing. And he should know, right? He's got that whole YouTube thing going on.
True, he's worked with editors before.
Right. He made it sound like every YouTuber and their mom needs an editor these days.
Haha, probably. But seriously, with all the online videos now, editors are in high demand.
That's what he said. And the best part is, you don't need a fancy degree or tons of experience to get started. He said the key is learning how to edit those engaging YouTube videos, the kind that keep people hooked.
Oh, that makes sense. It's not just the technical stuff, it's understanding storytelling, right? And how to keep people engaged.
Yeah. He even said some editors get a cut of the ad revenue if a video does really well, like a bonus.
That's awesome. It's like they're invested in making the video a success, not just getting paid to edit it.
Right. Plus, you can work whenever, wherever, and potentially make a really good living.
No wonder he gave it a 9 out of 10 on his remote score, the same as being a YouTube Uber. Those seem like his top picks for sure.
I can see why. They both have that potential to make bank and have a ton of flexibility.
Huh.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. From medical transcription to being a virtual receptionist, it's a bit overwhelming, honestly.
I know, right? So many options. But it's exciting too, you know? It shows how much opportunity is out there now, especially with remote work. It's not your parents' job market anymore.
So true. But how do you even start to figure it all out? It's not like there's a clear career path anymore. It's more like a choose-your-own-adventure book.
Haha. Yeah, kind of. But that's what makes it interesting, right?
I guess so.
It's about being open to new things, learning as you go. Those are the skills that'll always be valuable no matter what the job market looks like.
That's a good point. Adaptability, curiosity, being willing to learn new stuff. Those are important for anything in life, really.
Exactly.
It's almost like, forget climbing the ladder, we're building our own career rocket ship now.
Yeah. And you
But-
get to pick where it goes. But speaking of journeys, Remember how Benji's dad said having a side hustle helped him quit his 9 to 5?
Yeah, totally. It's like with the right attitude and some serious hustle, you can create a work life that's both fulfilling and makes you good money.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding that work that excites you, challenges you, and lets you live the life you want. It's not always a walk in the park, but the payoff can be huge.
No kidding. But okay, real talk. With all these options, visual interpreting, YouTube stuff, writing, medical transcription, how do you even choose?
It's a lot to take in. I think it helps to start with what you absolutely need in a job. Is it flexibility, being creative, working with people? Like, what are your must-haves? Then you can rule out stuff that doesn't fit.
Find that sweet spot skills, interests, and what works for your life, right?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try things out. You won't always hit the jackpot on the first try, and that's okay. Every job, even freelance gigs or volunteering, teaches you something, helps you figure out your goals.
It's all part of the process. Speaking of which, we've talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Everything from AI changing the job market to the surprising perks of being a virtual roadside assistance person. Haha.
And who could forget the YouTube Uber dream? Everyone wants to crack the code to online success.
Don't they? But like we said, it's not about chasing the next big thing. It's about finding something you're passionate about, becoming really good at it, and putting in the work.
Right. Absolutely. And here's the thing. The job market's always changing. What's hot today might be gone tomorrow, so you got to be curious, keep learning, and be ready to adapt.
So true. It's like constant learning isn't just a suggestion. It's the key to survival these days.
Exactly. You got to stay ahead of the curve.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into these nighttime remote jobs, what's one big thing you hope our listeners take away from all this?
I hope they realize they have the power to create the career they want. It's not all about the 9 to 5 anymore. With some creativity, hard work, and a little bit of courage to try new things, the possibilities are endless.
Love that. Embrace the unknown, right? That's what tonight has been all about. And who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be the one inspiring us with their awesome side hustle a few years down the line.
That would be incredible. It just shows you never know what you're capable of until you put yourself out there.
Well said. To everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this adventure into the world of nighttime remote jobs. Keep dreaming big, keep exploring, and keep reaching for those stars. We'll see you on the next